Hello everyone, welcome to your channel Pharmacypedia. This is Dr. Shikha Chauhan, and in this session I'm going to start Unit 1 of Physical Pharmaceutics 2. And Unit 1 is about the colloidal dispersions. So in this session we are going to briefly discuss about what are colloidal dispersions, what is the difference between the solutions, colloidal dispersions and suspensions. We are going to further discuss about the classifications of the colloidal dispersions. So if you have still not subscribed to my channel Pharmacypedia, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel Pharmacypedia for getting further updates and important content related to pharmacy. So without wasting your time, let us begin the session. So in this session, we shall be discussing about the classification of the dispersed systems and their general characteristics, sizes and the shape of the colloidal particles, how do they influence the dispersions and classification of the colloids. Now let us first try to understand about the colloidal dispersions. My dear students, when we talk about the systems, we know that there are basically two systems. The first is the monophasic and second is the biphasic system. When I say monophasic system, we means there is only a single phase. So for example, your solute and solvent, when your solute gets completely dissolved in your solvent, you get the solution. So in the solution you cannot see your solute molecules, but when we talk about when you have the large size of the solute and you try to dissolve the solute and it does not go into the solution, it results into the biphasic system. But why biphasic? Because there are two phases. One phase is completely separated from the others. So like when it happens in the case of the emulsion or the suspensions where the solute particle size is large, so it does not get into the solvent and it remains as a separate phase. So like now you can understand basically there monophasic refers to the solution phase, biphasic refers to the suspensions or the emulsion phase. So the whole story is about the particle size. So when we talk about the colloidal dispersion, it is between these two phases. So it is basically the monophase whereby your particles are dispersed into your dispersion medium. So when we talk about the solution, we talk about the solute or in the solvent. But when we talk about the colloidal dispersions, we talk about two phases. First is the dispersed phase, which refers to your solute, and second is your dispersion medium, which refers to dispersion medium. So when we talk about the dispersion liquids, there are two phases. First is the dispersed phase and second is the dispersion medium. So that is why we can classify the dispersion colloids into different ways on the basis of the dispersion medium, on the basis of the size, on the basis of the properties of the dispersed phase. My dear students, you can now clearly understand that when we talk about the colloidal dispersion, the particle size ranges from 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer. So if the particle size of the dispersed phase is within this range, 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer, it will be called as a colloidal dispersion. Now the properties of these colloidal dispersions are totally different. They are different from the solution phase, they are different from the dispersion, the suspensions. So monophasic and the biphasic. So it is having exceptional good properties which can be utilized in various pharmaceutical applications. So when we talk about the dispersed phase, it basically consists of the dispersed phase, that is particulate matter and dissolved into the continuous medium, or also known as the dispersion medium. So now let us try to understand the different classification of the colloidal systems. So when we talk about the size of the colloidal particles, it can be described as a monodispersive system or polydispersive system. So when we say the monodispersive system, it simply means particles of the dispersed phase have the same dimensions. So it is about the size. When the particles have the symmetry in the sizes, they have the same size, it is referred to as the monodispersive systems. Now let us try to understand the polydispersive system. Polydispersive system simply means that the particles of the dispersed phase have different sizes. Now let us try to understand it into the ratio of this dispersed phase to the dispersing medium. So again, it can be classified into two types, lipophilic and lipophobic. Philic always means solvent loving and phobic means solvent hating. So like lipophilic colloids have the large affinity to the solvent molecules. So the dispersed phase is completely solubilized into the dispersion medium, whereas in the lipophobic colloids, the dispersed phase is not the solvent loving, therefore they have the small affinity to the solvent and absorb on the particle surface large quantities of one type of the ions. So, my dear students, classification of colloidal dispersions can simply into three types: lipophilic, lyophobic, and associated colloids. Lyophilic, as I have told, it is the solvent loving. Lyophobic, it is the solvent hitting, and associated colloid simply refers to a micelles, critical micelles concentration that we have studied in the detergents. So at a certain point, your dispersed phase gets converted into micelles, and this is at the critical micelles concentration, also referred to as the CMC. So in the diagram above, you can see there is the hydrophilic head and hydrophobic tail. So it get aligns into the spherical shape referred to as the micelles, and this type of the property actually helps in various ways in the cleaning properties. That is why when we soak the dirty clothes and take them out, we become completely clean because of this alignment of this critical micelles. Now talking about the further classification based, so again colloids can be classified into the molecular dispersion, colloidal dispersions, and coarse dispersions. Since these are basically the three types of the dispersion. The first is the molecular dispersion, where the particle size is less than 1 nanometer, and it is also completely invisible in the electron microscope. So here your solute is completely solubilized into your solvent, for example glucose in the water. When we talk about the colloidal dispersions, the particle size ranges from 1 nanometer to the 1000 nanometer, and it is visible by the electron microscopy only, and it can also pass through the filter. So the classic example is your butters, milk, shaving cream, etc. Then your coarse dispersion, so you can see the particle size is always greater than 0.5 micrometer, and it is visible through the ordinary microscope as well, and it do not pass through the normal filter paper or the semi-permeable membrane. And the classic example is the calamine lotion and fine sand in the water. So sand is never solubilized, it will always be separated from the water. So you can see the colloidal dispersion range 1 nanometer to 0.5 micrometers, and coarse dispersion which ranges from greater than 0.5 micrometers. So like sand into the water and like that. Now talking further about on the basis of interaction, this we have studied between the dispersed phase and the dispersion medium. I told you lyophobic sols and lyophilic sols. Sols we always refer to the when your dispersion medium is either liquid or the gas. Then again, classification of the colloids on the basis of the dispersed phase. We have discussed multimolecular colloids, macromolecular colloids, or the associated colloids. This is again very important. The classification of colloidal dispersion is very mostly asked in the examination. You should always remember that you have to study critically about the associated colloids also, because here comes the role of the micelles. Then you have to discuss about the craft temperature and also about the cleaning mechanism in the detergents. Now you can understand clearly that what is the one phase, solution, suspension, and colloid lies in between these two phases. So it is a monophasic system where a particle size ranges from 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer. And my dear students, you have to always bear in the mind that we can easily prepare the colloidal dispersions easily. If you have the large particle size, then by various techniques you can reduce the particle size and make them available between the ranges of 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer. Or if the particle size is very small, then we can aggregate 2 to 3 particles, and when they get aggregated they form a single particle, which is if they have the particle size between 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer, it will be again working as a colloidal dispersion. So there are various techniques for the preparation of these colloidal dispersion. So one of the classification on the basis of the dispersion medium and the type of the colloid. For example, if your dispersion medium is is solid, or then it will be referred to as the solid sol. If the dispersion medium, so you have to memorize these classification. So on the basis of solid liquid gas, and solid liquid. So if it is solid so liquid sol gas, then it is known as aerosol. So depending on the type of the dispersion medium, you can simply classify on the basis of the physical state of the dispersion medium. You have to at least try to memorize 2 to 3 examples into each categories. Then talking further about the size and the shape of the colloids. Now you can understand when we talk about the preparation of colloidal dispersions, we talk about the reduction of particle size. So that if the particle size rises between 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer, then only it will be considered as a colloidal size. So for that, we have to increase the surface area. So colloidal particles have a large surface area, large volume, and they have the position of specific properties also. The classic example is that when we reduce the particle size, the same substance may exhibit different colors. So for example, the red gold color and the gold particle size, so they attribute different properties. They have different properties when the particle size is being reduced, or when they have the different particle size, and thus because of that properties only, they have different special properties which are attributed to the colloidal dispersions. So you can see here the different shapes of the colloidal particle. It may range from the cube, disc, tile, quasi-crystals, rod, ellipsoid, halo, shield, core shell, like that. So these are the classical examples of the colloidal dispersions in our day-to-day life. For example, we consume milk, detergents, cosmetics, paints, blood, aerosols, foams, and smoke, etc. So this was all about the classification of the colloidal dispersion. In our next session, we are going to further discuss about the different properties of the colloidal dispersion. So please do like, share and subscribe to my channel Pharmacypedia for getting further updates and important content related to pharmacy. Thank you so much.